Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Oh, hello there. Good morning, Nevermornings! This is your host, Nick Tockert, the host with the most, coming at you live on WNTF, Nevermind the Furthermore. I am so glad to have some of the finest people in the known world and the unknown world for you extraplanar entities keeping an eye on us through scrying means. It's great to see ya. We've got a whole lot of comments, and I'm sorry, I was distracted looking over this. What's this? Could this be the last editing copy before I throw images of the simple spear? Bum, bum, bum. Patreon subscribers have a shot to read it before it gets finished, and I am contractually bound to take it down because I would hate for them to save that as backup files. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Today, if you have not noticed it, is Friday, August 19th. That's right, folks. Happy Friday. Huge shout out to everybody in the cubicles trying to make it through life. And huge shout out to all those hunched over laptops, cobbled together computers, trying to build a life out of dream scraps and a whole lot of sweat equity. Lord knows I'm here for you all. We've got a whole lot of comments. We've got some delicious discussion planned. A quick moment to remind you of a few key things. First off, Nevermind the Furthermore is brought to you by Joe Bachman over at www.bit.ly/jbtechapps. All one word. That's jbtechapps. Joe has funded the first year, that's right, first year of our StreamYard. It's made it possible for not only this channel, but the Historical Fencing Guild to keep right on trucking along through the internet airwaves and into your eyes and ears. I am, of course, your host, Nicholas Tockert, and I am keeping the lights on my own way with things like the Big Stompy Robots Core Rulebook. Expect a whole lot more fiction in the Big Stompy Robots universe on the distant planet of Praxis 5 real soon. Because I'm going to tell you what, friends out in the wastes, the corporate wars are heating up. And who knows what things are coming out of those vile vector sect cunning lunatics. I know, and you'll know too if you read the books. But trust nothing, because you never know when something may come screaming from the sky, bringing unspeakable terror, or a building may just stand right up in front of you. Strange things happen out on the edge, friends, and you don't get farther out than Praxis 5. Now, let's get into your lovely comments and see who's doing what on this wonderful almost autumn day. Good morning and happy Friday to you, beautiful Nevermornings, from our own benefactor, Joe Bachman. Now, I can't preach Joe Bachman's glory nearly enough, not just because he hooks things up, but he's a heck of a fencer and a heck of a man. And I know he knows that I trust him because I didn't have his soul consumed for darkness for having the raw audacity to be engaged with my best friend Trelana. Anyhow, love you, Joe. And because you're still alive. No, I'm kidding. That, folks, that is a joke, mostly. There's bribery involved. No, I would never physically harm Joe because he's awesome and he knows the rules. God, I'm in a mood. Speaking of people who know the rules, Rich Asplin. So far, so good. Happy Friday to you too, Joe, and an exuberant howdy to all the folks. Howdy there, Rich Asplin. I hope that your life is coming together. Rich has gone through a whole lot lately. He's had to suddenly lose his home, and he's had to bring family kit and caboodle to an apartment that's finally he's in a situation where he's got some stability under his ground. So as soon as he gets something publicly that I can promote to get him some money, I will get him some money and try and get him on the show because he's a brilliant guy. He's also one heck of an IT guy. And if there's one thing I like to say is I appreciate IT guys. As a lowly user, you guys have saved my bacon more times than I care to mention. Let's see what else is going on. And we've got first comment up of the day. That's okay. I'm a little mellow today. I had a bit of a run-in and I caught a bug. And I caught a bug that has some scary application, scary meanings, if it's what I think it is. So I will not to vague book, but I want to confirm before I put out news that could have rippling effects. So I will be going actually in the near future to the Benton County Health Department to talk about that. I'll keep you guys informed. Oh, I know it's not bed bugs. Anyway, for once, the traffic of the motoring public isn't horrible. It is all different construction traffic behind our wall that is being a pain today, LOL. Well, Joe, you cashed in all your karma points and pretty much every natural 20 you have to land Trelane, and we both know it. That's why you can't roll. It's a fair trade. It really is, and it'll get better. And if not, it's great content for your upcoming book that I may have a copy to peruse. That is one of my many rewards waiting for me when I finish and get this bad boy up sometime between now and next Friday. This guy is due. And deadlines are deadlines for reasons, folks. So, got this office semi set up at the new apartment. I'm actually living here instead of just visiting. Wonderful. Let's get you a base, and then let's get you put something out I can promote, and I will help you make money. Hello, boys. I was just watching Dan's Last Man Standing just before this, but interrupted to see how things were over here. Great to see you, Carl. Things are good. It's an interesting day. We all have them. And apparently my voice is a little rough. Probably bellowing at the top of my lungs. Good news on our front. The truck's brakes were fixed and no harm has come to anyone. So we can then go through the next set of steps to get the other car fixed. And we may even get my third car fixed, and I may have a full fleet of vehicles again, which would make me very happy for the coming year and take a lot of the stress off me. So good things are coming. I have a book that's deadly close to being published, and yes, it's a little guy. It's very akin to The Fighting Axe, which is currently buried because I was looking through other things and I've been working. So my mess is a desk. Yeah, something like that. Time to get more coffee for Don and myself. Back in a few. Good. Let's see. Morning, Carl. Donna's greeting everybody. Everybody's greeting everybody. Coffee mission accomplished. Carl gets 15 experience points. Besides coffee bringer, Carl had to be my IT. Stupid updates that aren't needed. Oh, Lord, have I been fighting updates and issues. But, knock on wood, the computer is stabilized. I've been working very hard, double checking and getting rid of a few overlapping programs that I didn't even realize were there, and we're starting to make things work. So there you go. Provided tech services to Donna. Wow, that doesn't. Oh, so you're here to fix my router, huh? Does that make? Is that the new version of the plumber coming over? Anyway, we don't want your email to look boring, so we added a bunch of features that 3 people. Oh God. When I worked IT, I have people nearly demand a new feature, then explain what such a feature would probably anger 99% of the other folks using the program, but some didn't care. Those are the requests that you just sit on until they come to their sentences. And here's a hint for anyone getting new reminders added to software at work. If they say, these are not intended to be used as goals by management, those are your new goals. Surprise! Okay. Yeah, updates were normally a pain for me when I was at IT at INDOT. IoT would run updates over the weekend, break half the things we needed to access. It was always fun. Now, I want to stop here before we switch it. Friends, I have converted to Google Docs out of necessity. I do a lot of collaboration, and I can, depending on how I'm feeling and what's working, I can switch between computers when I do it. Sometimes I have to type things up through my phone because my thumbs are working, but the rest of my hand isn't. That all being said, if given my druthers, there was a office suite, and I'm not saying you could find it the old version at a .com somewhere, and I would never say that there's a site, about old versions that's a .com somewhere. I would never say that. But you can acquire a program. And this program is called Microsoft Works. It's about 500 megabytes. It is a suite for people who work. It was done, I don't know, I think the first version came out in the 90s. You buy it and then you own it, and you can write on it, and you can manage a calendar through it and do spreadsheets through it. It's like Office if Office hadn't lost its ever-loving mind. I have a disc somewhere that I got in college for like $12. I miss, friends, I miss the tools to be a writer that didn't either come with bizarre connectivity issues or a bunch of stuff. I've come very close to just snapping and putting like Grammarly over my lovely notepad app and just use that. Because when I'm writing, and I'm not trying to make a pretty formatted, lots of images, I just want to write a freaking story. I find a simpler interface that just lets me do the basics that I need to do is less distracting. The less I have to hunt and peck and figure things out, the more I get done. It's this stuff called productivity. And I will tell you, they need to bring it back. Alrighty. Now, that rant is over. It gave you guys a bit of time to have a comment dump. And just because I saw that, moving things from works to Word, Word scrambles Google Docs. Word doesn't like to let anything work because that's been a trick that frickin' Microsoft has been pulling on people since Dr. DOS. Oh, did I bring up Dr. DOS? Did I really? Did I go there? Yes. People who know. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to hide that current comment. Okay, and we're good. Getting back to where I was. That show intro is growing on me like a fungus, but it's getting better. You know what? I enjoy it. And I've actually had so many people comment that they really like it. I don't dare take it down. I've had people who I'd offer to do you an intro, but everyone seems to like it. Like, it gets talked about. The intro is awesome. See, Joe Bachman likes the intro to the show, and Donna Carlene likes the intro to the show, especially the organ music. I kind of jam to it. It's mellow, and then it gets into that groove. And I love that groovy, cool blue that's on there. It's just a good tune. And before Nick yells imposter syndrome, I'm being a jokester. I appreciate you. And we are joined by Frog G. For all things Nick, Tockert.com, Joe Bachman, JoeBach.tech.com/apps-portfolio. I'm only about 10, 13 minutes behind. I'm doing good. Yay, Nick. Final draft is always good. This is almost final draft. I have to add 2 to 3 more images and possibly do some tweaks she suggested, because I write like I speak, and anyone who knows me knows Nickese has its own almost dialect, and I have to balance that out between quote-unquote proper grammar and how I think, because I don't think necessarily in proper grammar. I do think I look dashing today. I look sunny. I'm in a. It's like it's cooled off, but I'm in a summery, vibey mood. I really like something frozen and not good for me. Maybe a Mountain Dew slushy. The local McDonald's, and I shouldn't admit this because I don't go there very often, but the local McDonald's has a computer printed sign. It's not like a dish that's, to the best of my knowledge, ordained by the powers that be at McDonald's, but they started selling frozen Coke floats, where they put frozen Coke on the bottom, put soft serve on the top when the ice cream machine works, and call it a float. And danged if it isn't good. Horrible for you. I mean, of course it's horrible for you. It's McDonald's. But danged if it's not good. And that's, I'll shout that out. That's in Kentland, Indiana on 41. Just north of the corner of 41 and 24. In beautiful Newton County, Indiana. Hey, Nick. Hey, Donna. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hey, Frog. And Frog G is hailing us on all channels with an important message straight from Frog Fleet Command. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Frog. I am so excited that we're less than a month away from the launch of your Frog G Voodoo Gods and Magic. Just because I hope the communities that know you can all, put aside their idiotic political differences and just support an incredible guy. Hail Frog, hail Frog, hail Frog. Frog G's hailing everybody. Voodoo Gods and let me see if I can get my voice. No. Hello, my name is Jimmy. No, not you, Jimmy. Okay. Launching September 17th. Sign up now for Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic on Indiegogo.com. Not as good. I'll do a better one later. Providing Nick doesn't have many editing changes for my first work, I'll I'll be able to put my stories up on Amazon soon. It'd be a shame if I read it for content and, pass it on to my lovely wife Amanda, who aced her copy editing class in library school. I think that would be terrible if that already happened. We'll get you hooked up. Hey, yo, Pop Zanzant, how you doing? I'm glad to hear your dog is doing better. Don't worry about the puppies. I am an animal lover. Not like that way, y'all. Don't be that way. But I love the furry creatures and stuff, and I try not to do harm onto things that I don't have to. But yeah, you've got CromCon, that monthly internet comic book convention. Basically, it's a really neat system you do, and a lot of people really dig it. So I support you, Pops. In what you're trying to do, build people up. Nick's books, Amazon.com/Nicholas, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, /EBO7P26PSF3. And yes, y'all can look that up. I'm not passing secret codes. Hi, Pops. Hey, Pops. Hail, Pops. Frog G hails people. That's how he is. Pop Zanzant. Comics Topic with Pop Zanzant over on YouTube, because Frog G's got the hookup. And Pops is going to smash like, share out the stream. That's right, folks. Smash likes, share out the stream. I try to do good for a lot of people. I try to build them up and encourage folks. And we live in a world of extreme darkness, looming threats and depression at every corner. So instead of dwelling on that, and as so many people do, and feeding into the zeitgeist of anger and fury, I say let's just find some joy. Let's be creative. Let's work to change. Solar punk for life. Let's do something positive. And I might even do that. I might, after having said that, I've been plotting to do a solar punk book for a long time. And maybe after I knock out some of my in-progress stories, I'll go back to that one I've wanted to do for some time. Something is coming. We'll talk. Joe Bachman is reminding me, just remember, Nick, the deal is active. And it's nearly my birthday, Joe. You better be careful that I don't want to unwrap some offered presents. That's all I'm saying. Good morning. Good never morning to all. Yep. That's right. I'm one hell of a text. Sebastian is my cousin. You're merely one hell of tech support. Oh, go. Oh, Richie just hit one of my favorite buttons. A really, really messed up, delightful little anime called Black Butler. Not child friendly, incredibly warped in points, and utterly delightful in others. And merely one hell of a butler has become a trope in my household. It's been a while since it's been invoked. Good to hear the ancient magics again. Let's see where we are. Big old comment dump. Usually that, I'll have to see. I bet Cindy kept hidden too. Let's see. Hello, Pops. Morning, all. Morning, Nick. Hope all is well. All is well. Jody McPhee from a desk of a small press publisher is in the house. And we all know what happens when our friend Joe shows up knocking at the door. Bam.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. And I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Thank you, Joe, for doing what you do. Anybody who supports as many creators as Joe does deserves respect. And I know a lot of people disagree with him. Heck, sometimes I disagree with Joe on any given topic. But I admire the man's tenacity always and his steadfastness in his beliefs. And that's something we need to be able to recognize and respect in each other. Jody, everybody. Jody. Don't take the show away from me. Anyway, funny, but no. Anyhow, and we've got more greetings, so I'm just going to scroll past a few more of these greetings because everybody loves each other. And Frog is sharing the link, youtube.com/From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. Joe Bachman, the deal, is it a swap? Oh no, it's a much better deal than that. I don't share, I acquire. Anyhow, there's a long story to that, which I don't exactly remember all the details on. I always know the details. We shook on it. That's all that matters. Anyhow, more greetings. Hi, JV. There's someone by the name of JV. First time I've seen you come through. Love your little icon. If you have an iPhone, make sure to get the latest update. Big hack flaw fix. Well, that is awesome. And anybody who does iPhone stuff, if you want to check up and convert. So I'm so used to you guys trying to convert me to Mac and i products. And make sure you're up to date. Please do. Thank you for the security warning, JV. And if there's anything else you want, you can tell us. Let us know. I'd love to know what you're about. If you have any questions, we're a bunch of authors trying to make our way through. If depending on how the commentary goes, depends on how much I talk, but we'll go. Let's see. And so please stop. I'm going to cry. That's what I'm doing for now. Wait, I'm doing now for my now. Not for one agency, but the state. I have at least 16 of them. Oh, poor Joe. Joe D is trapped in the deep six that is IT work. I too have been among that field, and heaven help you. Good Lord. I haven't seen Microsoft work since I was running Windows 98. Forgot that was still around. Behind me. Now, it's not hooked up right now because I'm trying to get something set up that Carl sent me. And it takes me a while to get things going. I'm one of those people who will get something, be all excited, and then stuff will come up, and a great amount of time will pass, and then I'll set it up, and I'll be all excited again. But yes, was a Windows 98 box. And you know what's funny about that Windows 98 box? It has no internet. It hasn't in many, many, many years. But when I turn it on, it goes, and then it turns on. And it works. I have to clean it up like any other Windows box every once in a while. You have to do maintenance. But it works. It lets me write things. And I put the things that I write on a flash drive. And I tennis-shoe network it over to my Lenovo, which I love, but I've had to battle since a few updates. And it's nice to have something in the background that you can trust to just turn on and do what it's designed to do. It's not fancy, it's not pretty, and it sounds like a small helicopter taking dust off, but it works. Now, I still love Works, and I wish with the not some beautiful non-parasitic individual over at Microsoft would realize I would love to just buy that product again, have it updated to work stably, but do nothing else. Just work. One time buy and go, because I am not going to rent programs. I rent StreamYard. Thank you to Joe, because I am paying for their service in distribution, because they can do some things that make my videos much easier. That is a service. That is not like I'm renting the program. I'm hiring their service. The program comes with it. But what they want for Word 365 or whatever is appalling. And it's simply money grubbing. And given how many people are switching to free things like Google Docs, or I've used LibreOffice a lot, I've used OpenOffice, a whole, Andro Office. I've done a lot. And it's high time that Microsoft realized they're shooting themselves in the foot, financially being this way, because real soon people are going to stop, renewing their contracts for the exclusivity crud. And you know what? There's a program out there where many corporations, if they are using bootlegged versions of Microsoft products, there's a reward for turning them in. The only reason I would see to do that is out of vindictiveness. But other than that, moving on. Morning, happy Friday, Cindy Koepp. We haven't got to see you as much. How you doing, love? I hope you're doing well. In fact, again, folks, because Cindy Koepp came through the door and I haven't had her in-house in a while, let's show Cindy some love before she plugs everybody else, because we all know her.
Author Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Sorry. I just realized if somebody threw an aggressive bass beat to Cindy Koepp's background music, it would be kind of a bit of a rager there. Sorry, the old techno guy is coming out in me, and I'm really in a mood. Going back, so Nick, the trouble is when you try to move something from Works to Word. Yes. And that's deliberate. They don't want you using the better program because it costs less. Black. Oh, yeah, Word Perfect. At Jody Be Happy, I was only Microsoft Word. When I stated diagnosing Word Perfect issue was a paid. Yeah, my mom runs Word Perfect. She runs Word Perfect and Works on her personal box that's not connected to the interwebs. And she ran an entire factories using that set of programs. I'm sorry, some of the bells and whistles are really nice, but I miss. There was a version that was much like Publisher, and I'd really like to find an alternative that's a little more. And this is me out. I am looking, guys, for a good program, preferably low cost. I don't want to rent. that will let me format a little easier the image and background stuff. I love Publisher. I found Publisher was a great program. That was in the extended different Office suites. And if I could find my discs from back in the day, I'd just run one of those, because then it would just grumble about this is an older version, but that usually doesn't go too bad, because I really want to upgrade my formatting on my RPGs. Joe, what do you use when you format your stuff? Because you're showing me the RPG. I can't remember what program you formatted that in. Word and Notepad can be helpful sometimes when you're just writing. And I'm a pantser, and I am completely at the mercy of the whim. When the muse hits me, I have to stop and I have to write, because I will forget. I have clinical memory loss issues. This is why Post-it notes are my best friends. Because I will somehow remember to forget, if that makes sense. Like, I've made the same dishes. And if I make a dish without any instructions, I remember how to do it. But if I have the boxed dish, like you're making a boxed cake, I've made hundreds of box cakes over the years. I still have to double check the stupid box, usually after I throw it in the garbage. Why? I have no idea. But I got smart and realized I was doing that with a few things I always did. So if you were to look next to my microwave, there is a Post-it note with times for a list of things that I always cook. Because I hit it, and there's like a void in my mind when I get in front of that microwave. I look at it, it just goes, beep. You can see the blue screen flash. Then I look at my happy little Post-it note, and I go. This is called adapting. Adapting to what we have going is vital. Luke and I had a wonderful talk toward the end of the show, as I recall. And I'm trying to do hand exercises because I've got a little bit of nerve issue today. But the idea was self-editing and being able to step back from the ego side of what we do and go, are we really getting better? Is it better? How do I get better? Because one thing I said that I guess most people don't know, practice does not, in fact, make perfect. Practice makes consistent. Okay? What does that mean? All right. When you're trying to hit something, okay, that's marksmanship of any kind. You're throwing a rapier shot. You're shooting a freedom dispenser. You're doing archery, throwing knives, throwing axes, whatever. There are two factors on how well you can do this. The two factors, guys, are precision and accuracy. Okay? I got to go for this walk, so you got to bear with me. Accuracy, guys, is how close you get. You get to the target, and that's a great thing. A lot of people fixate it, but what they don't understand is precision is how close each attempt is to each other relatively. And the trick is, if you want to get better, you build precision. Precision does come from that practice. Practice is going to build precision. If you do the same thing the same way, and this is from teaching and doing archery, which I probably can't do anymore. I might be able to shoot one of my really light bird bows. I have to see what my hands will hold up to. But you anchor at the same point. So the motion has to be the same motion, right? And if Michaela were here, she would totally agree with this. And the release has to be the same. You do the same thing. You want, and you get the same result, hopefully. And when you can get that very close, where the same thing is giving the same result and it's very close, then you can make the adjustment. And you make the adjustment and you check how that work. And you do that the same way every time. And yes, it is a grueling process, but that is how you get good at things. And what you draw, and we all do this, what you write, if you do the same thing over and over again, you'll get similar results. That's building the precision. Accuracy is being able to learn the study to do different things. And you use the same process, you just build up in your basics a bit more, and that makes you better. And I'm using analogies because trying to say how to improve as a writer is actually a very hard and personalized concept to discuss. A lot of us are writers. How do you say, how do I make my writing work? How do I make it better? This is questions we should all be asking constantly. How do I make what am I doing better? Part of it is you need to be consistent. Figure out when you're consistent, you can analyze. So consistency gives data. Okay. If the data is spread all over the place, you can't find a trend. You can't work on it. When it starts to condense into something consistent, when the precision hits, then you can say, okay, I've got some problems that need fixed. And you pick one and only one, and you work on that till you have it fixed. So, okay, writing wise, maybe it's simple mechanical problems. I have spelling issues, punctuation issues. Study back up, refresh that in your mind, work on that. And admit the problem's there, acknowledge it, and work on it. Then, once you've got, okay, that's going good, my sentences are a little long. Maybe they're run on, maybe they're long. So you work on brevity a bit, and you work on that till you're comfortable. What you don't want to do is dislodge previous growth. And then, okay, this plot, I don't like this plot. It's too predictable. Or it's too, zany for what I'm trying to do. It's all over the place. Then you work on that by progressively troubleshooting. And see, this is the process the good IT guys go. This is the script for the script monkeys who are not terribly good IT guys. I know I was in training to become a script monkey, amongst other things, at one point in my life. And then that didn't work out, and that's okay. I learned enough to go, I'm going to do some other stuff for now. Mostly because dealing with people is annoying. And you break it down. This process of continual assessment, refinement, creation, assessment, refinement, starts this, I think it's called the OOLA loop, and I cannot remember how the acronym for it. But it's basically you look around, you make a plan, you enact the plan, you assess, did it work? Then you look around, make a new plan, and you just keep cycling, And I should remember that cycle because it was drilled into me in my youth. I had a very interesting youth. When I believe I was in third grade. I'm derailing, but it's a good derail, so I'm going to go on with it for a minute. They did basic aid training. We're going to teach you, how when to call the fire department, when to, what needs a Band-Aid, what needs a doctor, kid CPR stuff. And the presenter looks at me and goes, "All right, Nikki, what do you do if there's an emergency?" And I said, "Establish a perimeter." Because that's what I was brought up. The first step to any situation is establish a perimeter. And he looked at me kind of funny. He's like, "Okay, assess the situation. Is it safe for you to be there?" And that's part of establishing a perimeter. If not, you get to somewhere safe and establish a perimeter. Little kid programming. But learning cycles of assessment, creation, and going through editing will make you better in whatever you're doing. But the improvement comes at a painful price. It requires the death of ego, or at least the moderate sedation of ego. You have to get your ego to shut up. And I mean both ways. Here's the tricky one. And I have problems with this too, so I'm coming up. not just the ego positive, but the ego negative. Because there is a temptation for all of us to go, my stuff sucks. Why am I even bothering? Whee! And that's just as bad, if not worse, than saying my stuff is great when it isn't. You have to have a truthful analysis. It has to be calculating. You have to find parameters. And with things like writing and art, it can be very subjective. So you have to have other people and balance the opinions and seek out people you want advice from. But don't take critique from anyone you would not seek advice from. But understand, if you would seek advice from them, critique is advice. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm way behind in the comments, and I'm possibly running late, but I want to keep popping along, so I'm going to. Wow, wow. Okay, I talked for a while there. Don't worry, Jody, you'll retire ever. Pain even. Coming soon, Simple Spear. Thank you, Cindy. All right. From the desk of a small press publisher. That's why I never went to work for IoT. I didn't want to spend every Tuesday at the BMV fixing their stuff. Overexposure to the BMV can result in loss of sexual interest, loss of joy, loss of color in one's vision, monotone, the ingestion of white bread, plain, the violent reaction to mayonnaise as spicy. Anyhow, boom. LOL. Hi. Yep. RTF format doesn't usually get scrambled too horrible. No, I love RTF because if I'm just doing text, it tends to just work, and it's small. Here's the thing: when you're submitting to KDP, part of what they charge you in royalties is assigned by file size. So if you can get your book, if it's just text, now most of the time I can't because my books are usually image added, and I'm going to be doing some non-image solely to see how this works, and at least for my fiction. They're ordinal, so I have to use larger files, usually PDF, which really scrambles the ebook. A lot of times the ebook doesn't like PDF when it tries to streamline it for phones. But if you use RTF, so it's just a little tiny file size, rich text format, which is why Richie likes it. It was named after Richie Asplund. Everyone knows this. But it's rich text format. But it is a tiny file size, so it's very convenient. It doesn't have a lot of the features, but you don't need those features, especially if you're just submitting a book. The only thing I have trouble is page numbers. Page numbers get a little funky with that. That's why they like Word. Word is what Amazon wants. I just hate. I cannot bring myself to rent a program that I should be able to buy. It physically hurts my soul. And yes, tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, will be the Historical Fencing Guild. We will be talking swords and shenanigans and a little bit into armoring, probably. I've had some stuff today, so it's a little thing. Frog G's greeting JV. Great to see you. Looks like we have yet another comment dump. And I am officially half an hour plus behind. So let's knock some stuff out. Amazon has neuroses. That's Amy Hale's stuff, but I'm way behind. So, Amy, I'm going to skip your commercial right now. If you're watching, I'll get you next time or later if I get through the show. I like the intro. What was the intro? The intro is a lovely video made for me by Carl Witzman. I run it for the first 2 minutes of the program to let everybody have a chance to run in. I used to do a countdown clock as well, but I have found, one, that several people tried to make false claims on it, and two, I don't really need that buildup for the energy. I may do something else if I feel the need, but we'll keep going on it. Well, please like, share, and subscribe to this, JV, because we have conversations, if you're enjoying like this, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. And ring the bell, because I will be doing other things, especially as winter. I am very temperature fluxy when it comes to my production. I overheat real easy and I don't create a lot. But as soon as fall hits and winter hits, I'm in here knocking it out. Sound effects with bats. Yes, Smashwords, Brian K. Morris. Dr. Doss Lamau. Microsoft's biggest mistake was their bootleg version of Norton Utilities. That software breaks things if you don't use it correct. Yep. And yeah, see, I'll pull it out. Liquid Armor, Brian K. Morris. I know what book that is. That is Volcana. What is Legend Reborn? I can't remember the tagline for Volcana, and I can't read it on my shelf right now. I'll get later. Frog G. Hey, JV. And if anybody knows JV, tell me about him or her, or them. The world's an interesting place. Bear Publications has cool sci-fi anthologies at bearpublications.com. Get your Animal swag at bit.ly/bearpub. Comic-related madness at, I bet that's Pop Van Zandt. Raul Cruz does Animal art and his own Kali at www.artstation.com/Raul Cruz. And now you can get your own commissioned art from Raul Cruz. www.subscribestar Raul Cruz. And oops, come on. I'm almost in Micro Machine Man mode. Let me get where I was. Okay, multiple comment dumps. There we go. We are going through everything. There we are. Advice and support for caregivers. Amazon.com/Victoria Adams. You should get some trolls. Amazon.com/SL Roland. Need website design? StudioHubris.wixsite.com/StudioHubris5. JV Ola. Why did that speech impediment get me anyway? QuadCon is all over the Midwest at Quad City Comic Con. Quad City, see, that one always gets to me. https://quadcitycon.com. Des Moines Quad City Comic Con. QuadCon Comic and Toy Show, September 24th and 25th. Find me there for books, dragons, and a giant hairy spider. WWS Quad City Con. Dubuque QuadCon Comic and Toy Show, Five Flags Event Center, October 2nd. I'll be there too. My last out-of-town show until spring. QuadCityCon.com. Hey, Hojo. Hail, chat. Hail, Nick. Where is it coming in? Oh, never mind. Hiya. Hi, Hojo. Hojo's a neat person. Oh. Whoop. Clopas, the company doing Animalized video game, has a Kickstarter for a game called Stereotypical. And there's a Kickstarter link. Tell me more about it. I'm curious. I suppose I could follow that link later. Hey, Hojo. How are you doing? And Hojo said, let it be spliced. Weird takes on fairy tales. Ye old dragon books. Meet the dragons. Hail, frogs. Hey, Pops. There's greetings going back and forth. Denver Martinez does Animalized Colors at www.deviantart.com/TheRaider05. You can also find on deviantart.com/Nick T the art of yours truly, which, as soon as this goes down, and we're so close I can taste it, I get that freedom to write and art and just kind of get loose with it for a bit. So good things are coming. Voice acting. www.facebook.com/SkunkRockerLive. Enter the Decoverse. Amazon.com/John B. Pike. Oh, just John Pike. I'm just did it. Lamau, Dolly Tockert. Wow. I have no idea how that happened, but the only Dolly that I think of is Miss Dolly, and she is one of America's greatest treasures, and I hope she has a wonderful day. I know she won't likely ever see this, but I hope wherever she is, she's having a wonderful day. Her biscuits always come out nice. Bless that woman. Anyway, Nerd Culture on YouTube.com. Hey, Hojo. Everybody loves everybody. That's right, Johnny Freaking Cage. Johnny Freaking Cage at JP7 on Twitter is an incredible artist. I mean, just kind of, if you like Michael Turner, okay, if you like Mike Turner's Fathom work, you are going to absolutely adore Johnny Cage's artwork. They're in that family, and that is incredibly high praise because he's one of my favorite artists of all time. I'm still in Micro Machine mode. But we'll keep going. Small Publisher Desks from YouTube/user/Simple. Hey, Johnny. And that's great to see Johnny Cage. I love Johnny Cage. Everybody's greeting Johnny Cage. Donna's greeting Johnny Cage. Frog G's Johnny Cage. Cindy Kepp Warriors. Amazon.com/Michaela Jade. Sup, y'all? Johnny Cage is in the house doing what he does best, which is snark from the Peanut Gallery. Love you, Johnny. More greetings. At JV is correct. There's update pushed for those on iOS 15 recently. I don't know if the latest iOS 16 beta update took care of that or not. I would imagine it did. So, folks, one second because I was speaking rather quickly. Folks, check on your phone. Make sure everything's working real well. Man, I'm okay. We're going to work with this. I'm good. Ooh, boo, hiss. I hate when I run out of break before I run out of links. Starting Art 76 for our vintage cartooniness. Hashtag bring Cookie home. That's right. And you can do that by supporting Brian K. Morris at Risingtide.pub. Boom. Now, I'm getting there. Whoop, 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 whoop. Bam. Greetings, everyone. Hiya, Dave. That's Dave Brink over at Genuine Comics. He does Perfect 10, another loving homage to the spirit of 90s independent comics, which, as a man of a certain age, was fundamentally influential on my take on what a comic should look like and what I really enjoy. What you're first exposed to often is that. Dynamic panel design, neat, distinctive characters, very attractive women, very attractive men, monsters that look monstrous, a visual treat, and his stuff is consistently exceptionally professional. A lot of people treat independent creators, comic guys and such, like like they're somehow lesser than the dudes who work for Marvel. Or DC. I know people who do all of the above. And I know people who are independent and they're not terribly good. And I know people who are pros. And I've seen their work. And frankly, they couldn't draw their way out of a wet paper bag. But Dave Rink is the real deal over at Genuine Comics. If that is your jam, follow him on Twitter. Yes, I still use MS Office 2010 on my old laptop. If it works, don't break it. Microsoft is about to find out what it's like to be those big cable companies. That's what they're working against. Because people, the wonderful thing about computer designers, and it's what scares Facebook. I'm not going to call them Meta, okay? Because they are not the Meta. They are not the defining rule of our times. I refuse to allow that to be the basis because good heavens. No, since the internet basically went as a public thing, independent people, truly creative, some very literally genius people have been making free resources for each other, shareware, freeware, to help make their lives better. Sometimes they charge a minuscule amount. Sometimes they charge, a fair amount. And but much of the time they just do it because they're making the programs they want. And we need that creative freedom. I know I harp. It's like, oh, it's an independent creator. Nick's going to pull out the soapbox. clamber on up and be like, behold, friends, and let it be known that it is okay to make things freely for your fellow man as a gift in your talents. And while I do feel work should always be repaid, there is absolutely nothing wrong with creating something and using something someone else created that was freely given for the spirit of making your life better and helping you create. Let's put that sort of thing out there. And that is what terrifies the big corporations. It's what terrifies the big everything. It's very hard to tax and to mandate and to analyze an algorithm kindness. It's hard to leverage kindness into profit. It can be done, usually with ill intent, but it scares me because kindness, I believe, is a wonderfully independent act. It is a wonderful defiant act to be kind, to give freely. This is why I support self-sufficiency whenever possible. Not because I'm some wackadoo. I mean, I'm a wackadoo. Look at how I dress. But because I want everyone to have the freedom to do what they want. If it's not hurting anybody, they shouldn't be burdened excessively for doing something that makes life better. And if it's helping somebody, they should be at minimal, at best, let me put it this way, at best, encouraged, promoted, and supported. At minimal, left the heck alone. If they're doing good, let them do good. But so I get passionate about this stuff because I'm passionate about it. And if you have the means to help people who are doing good, use those means to help people to do good. Because sometimes, if you have the means, you can do more by helping the right person than trying to do it yourself. That's, again, pulling the ego out of it. Build each other up. Build yourself up in service to your fellow man and woman and any other gender that comes up. And frankly, any other sapient, sentient that either is found externally or rises to that level on Earth. I think we're in for some interesting times. And I find it fascinating. So let's keep going through these things because I'm sure I've had another comment dump. Yep. Who do? Oh, okay. We got some other friends I recognize from other things. And Pops Van Zant is greeting everybody. Hojo's greeting Mr. Brink. See? That's right. That's Mr. Brink. No. Frog G is promoting Cindy Koepp at studiohubris.wixsite.com/CKOEPP and Amazon.com/Cindy Koepp. Genuine Comics is getting through. The issue is feature creep. Yes, feature creep. Thank you, Carl Witzman. People start out using a program, but they feel they have to make suggestions, and then you get the same crud you tried to escape. That's literally what I've watched happen to an extent with Docs. Not bad. Docs is doing better at staying in its lane, but definitely Word. Early Word was great, and I've trained on about 4 or 5 different versions of Word through college, and the newer ones I'll admit I don't like that much, but a lot of it's the accessibility, and what they started doing is adding more features but hiding them to be less distracting, which sounds good, but the problem is then the features you want are harder to find. And as the companies have found out that personalization is profitable, they've made it much harder to personalize your own stuff. It used to be a lot simpler to make your own icons, make your own fonts, and I still keep certain programs around from the annals of the old days, including one of my favorites, Microsoft GIF Maker, which is a simple sequencer program. It does not allow you to draw, but it lets you take GIFs, and I will always call them GIFs, not GIFs, because it's graphic. Some people can disagree with me, including apparently the creator. I don't care. This is one of my hills. I'm comfortable here. right there with pepperoni pizza, but with pineapple on pizza. But simple programs that work. They take up less space. You don't have a program bloat. You don't have feature bloat. You don't have feature creep. I like that. The RPG page I showed you is formatted in Adobe Illustrator. Thank you. The written word actually weakens memory because we keep coming back to it. That is part of it. It's a balance. In my case, I use it much like my cane, because my memory is self-deleting. It is part of a series of conditions I have. We're going to work on different angles to deal with that. But when they're needed, that's why I have my wall of knowledge. Because there are some things that just haven't stuck since, and I've collected a few concussions over the years. I'm not being facetious. I've literally incurred physical brain damage, and in certain aspects that has impaired me. But in others, I do fine. And what I do is I learn to adapt with it. So yes, it can. But yeah, technician troubleshooting is an everyday thing for me. It's definitely a process. And the neat thing about the troubleshooting process, and I wish troubleshooters were more of an actual job title, because the people who know how to solve a problem, get out there and solve it, are incredible. And it's a whole genre, and that's part of what I was brought up to be. You look at a problem, you solve it. And I think that's fascinating. Troubleshooting is my life, professionally and personally. Yep. Now just please publish your stuff. I know I write some, but I can't help it. Hojo, yes, I have an IT degree as well as a computer electronics degree. Got the IT degree and realized it wasn't for me after I did my internship. I prefer machines over people. Nothing wrong with that. Ironically, some people I can fix easier than machines, and some machines are different than people. It's all depending on which parts of my brain are firing that day. Let's see what else we have. Boink. I was troubleshooting. I remember when troubleshooting was 2 words, troubleshooting, because you just shot the trouble. HR would have something to say about that, Rich. HR usually was the first one on the firing line, maybe bar. Okay, guys, he's joking. He is joking. This is not literally YouTube. This is humor. If you look in my scrolling thing, the opinions of others are not necessarily these of the show. It's their own. Don't come at me, YouTube. Okay? The phrase going postal will now be called going IT. Going IT would be slipping in their browser history to the FBI, and so they end up swatting themselves. Wow. Well, hello, friends. Hello, Michaela. It's a shame you came by. We were talking about precision versus accuracy earlier on, and we were talking about archery, and I know that's right in your bailiwick. But how's one of the leading romance authors in the independent world doing today? And I've got a comment dump, and it's substantial as usual. That's awesome. Greetings, Michaela. Greetings, Michaela. Hi, Michaela. Oop. Hey, guys. That's right. Hey, Michaela. Good morning. Everybody loves Michaela. She's greeting everybody out. She said, everybody's greeting Michaela, so we're going to skip that real quick. Be careful if you watch the morning motivation. It was more of a morning rant. Now, how could I be so hypocritical as to judge someone who's ranting? Well, hey, Pops. Oh, I love a good rant as long as it's not about me. Nothing wrong. I like Vic King stuff. Awesome. Ice Queen. Hi, Ice Queen. Great to see you. Another really neat person, creator, coming over from, I think I snagged you through Luke Stone's Nerd Bacon, which I do every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. With my boy Luke Stone. the pastor of disaster, coming at you live from Jacksonville, Florida. And more comments. Comments are good. Keep it chatting, folks. Facebook is too... No, I'm not even going to get into that. What Fauci is to science. I'm not... That's a level of politics I'm going to step back on. Hey, Ice Queen. Hey, JV. And that's not a shot on you or whatever. That's... I try to keep things kind of light and fairly civil here. And when I see something like that, that's a little too political on either end of the spectrum of polarity, I will step back from it, because just like I associate with people who are devout SJW comic lovers and comic creators, I associate with people who fly the CG flag, directly opposed. I fly no flag because I'm about setting up things for independent people. That's what I want. I want to build up the bottom. I don't care who you vote for. That's between you, your beliefs, and what's being presented on a plate. I care, are you creating something interesting, and are you helping people? Because even if I politically disagree with you, there's no reason to demonize you, nor canonize or hero worship people I agree with. Just not here for that. I hope that's okay, because my world is starting to condense, and it's really interesting. And wacka-hoo, wacka-doo, wacka-wacka. Okay, stop. Troubleshooting is not a professional title, only because management feels most troubleshooting is translated to simple decision Gantt chart. Oh, God. Yep. Troubleshooting is fixing someone else's mistakes. Yep. When people ask me what my job was, I'd go through what they say, and I'll say, now, I'll tell you what my job really is here. My job here really is solving problems before they happen. And that's been my job for a long time. I seek out vulnerabilities in systems and try to solve them before they break. I'm the guy who wants to see the stress lines before the bar snaps. And the people I associate with, oddly enough, it's one of those mentalities that tends to resonate. That's why Joe Bachman gets to take these chunks of concrete and put them in a neat press, see how much pressure it takes to break them to see if they're good enough to use. Because you want it to break there, and if it's going to fail there, not fail when a busload of school kids is riding over it. And yeah, so troubleshooting, it is a way of life. And once you've walked that path mentally, especially if you're poor, you never stop troubleshooting. And if you get injured, it freaks you out because you can't patch things up. But it's a way of life, and I dig it. People underestimate or don't appreciate data collecting aspects to get the correct answer. Absolutely. This is why librarians are so necessary. Librarians, especially if I had any job out of the house that wasn't my creative interests, it would be reference librarian. And not just because I grew up resonating with Giles. Although I'm not going to lie and say that isn't there. A reference librarian is the person people come to when I have a question. They are taught incredibly high-grade Google foo, how to use systems. And when you've been a reference librarian, I think more than any other type of librarian, in a library, you know the collection inside and out, and you learn random obscure things because people come through and they ask you questions. And if you don't know, and if you know, yay, here's the answer. There you go, on your way. Have a nice day. You get to learn something you didn't know. What a gift. That is ironically one of the neatest forms of troubleshooting. And it's not something that's discussed. Good evening, Bonsert. We're joined by Bonsert over at Radio Retro Future. His comic book is doing absolutely amazing. He has an art contest for the comic book. I think it's still going on. And we'll have to see if we can't get some people to submit to that. Let's see. And I worked for a company that had terrible IT. They left servers to massive amounts of company info easily accessible by any PC on the network. I've worked in healthcare. And I worked with special needs at a certain company. I've worked in a couple of them, and I'm not going to name it because I don't want trouble. But I was doing the company sign-on, and they're like, "Eric, grab that employee in the waiting room where anybody can get at, and there's a book, and I'm flipping through it, and it's the employee handbook, and it's sitting there for employees to look through, because that's what they do. They'd have you sit there so they could watch on the camera to see if you did your time studying it, whatever. And part of it they talked about were HIPAA violations, and that's letting people have access to client files and talking about people's ailments without their consent and things like this. It is a bad juju thing. And at the end of the book was a reference of all the clients with their names, numbers, addresses, and social security numbers sitting out on a shelf in the public access waiting room where anyone could walk in, and I need to see so-and-so or do anything and have access to this. And I'd ask, why is there a HIPAA violation in this? And they almost didn't hire me. So yeah, IT and information tech is something that's on. Oh, I understand that the YouTube algorithm will get you too. No, you're not wrong. JV, you don't know me likely. It's possible I know you under another handle, and if the part of what I do is this is the volume 3 manuscript of my books on teaching people to sword fight. So the other channel I host besides this, which please subscribe, this is the Nicholas Tockert channel, is the Historical Fencing Guild. For 20 years, I've been teaching people to sword fight. Now, on that channel, I have algorithmic difficulties because some people consider it a weapons channel. And it's really not. I teach people usually with synthetic swords. It's safer. We do talk about live stream, but I don't condone violence. The algorithm is a real vital thing. And it's much better for everybody if I simply avoid politics. Thank you so much for understanding. Now, if you have politics and you want to talk with Luke. Luke doesn't care. That's Luke Stone at lukestonestudios.com. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Keisha Acuff of Acuff Creations. How you doing? I hope you're having a spooktastic day, because every day is a little spookier with Keisha Acuff in the house. I miss Sarah. We haven't seen her in a while. Somebody go knock on her coffin, by the way. But that is how I started doing CromCon. Nobody would set up tables when they went down in 2020. I started online con to help people. That's how I started the Historical Fencing Guild live stream, which is now in its 3rd year of it's 3/4 of the way through its 3rd year of broadcasting, because I wanted to reach out to the guild members that I was teaching and maintain contact and support through the pandemic. And instead, I found a whole new group of people and some dear friends, and they support both that and help me make this channel through my Patreon at www.patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild. Yes, I'm promoting myself. I need to. Brian never did that. He did that very little. And Risingtide.pub should have been on the end of nearly every paragraph. Now, I don't want to sound mean. Worked for a library for years. They are super political, and 90% of the people there are there for free internet and movies. I saw so much wasted money over 7 years. Okay. The problem is, I'm going to stop for a moment here because I support libraries. This is not political. This is libraries are one of society's greatest aspects. because libraries are one of the few places, first off, in America where you can be somewhere and not be expected to pay money. And I mean that literally. If you think about it, if you go to a restaurant, you're expected to buy something. If not, they'll run you out. Work, you're working, so money is you're spending your time to earn money. Your own home, you're paying rent and utilities and stuff. The library is one of the one places you can be, and in that moment, you're not really incurring any special cost. The yes, movies and internet use has skyrocketed through the libraries, and that's absolutely vital because we are in a definitely difficult economic time, and that's how a lot of people get their entertainment. And I have no problem with it. The internet, yes, a lot of people are on the computers, but a lot of them are doing uh, job hunts. They're maintaining contact. They're running businesses. Um, maybe they're just playing. Maybe they're just having a little fun. And in that, they're getting a chance to be free. They're using the printer because they can't afford a printer of their own. The library is a monolith that supports both open access to uh, information and stories that are not that are people try to ban. I am passionate about Banned Books Week. I'm passionate about uh, banned about being anti-censorship, even if I disagree with it. And yes, people will always cite some issues, and I believe that a lot of that goes to, well, then if it involves the children, the parents should be doing the censoring, not the state, because the belief when people want that is that the state's going to agree with what you want, and as soon as they don't, suddenly you have problems. So I feel the libraries preserve knowledge and information, and if you don't, they're a backup for modern civilization. If we had a solar flare event that wiped out uh, electronics, which is possible, they have happened in the past, the hard copies of information that are in libraries will literally save lives. When people talk about where would you go in case of a like zombie apocalypse, one of the first places I'd want access to is the library because there are a lot of things I can do, and there are a lot of things I don't know how. But if I have a reference book, I can. So visiting a library would be crucial. So I will always stand up personally for libraries. And if that's not your jam, I apologize. And see, the thing is, either side politically wants to ban certain things. If you watch, either side will say, well, we don't think people need this. And sometimes it's religious texts, sometimes it's how-to texts. Look up banned books. And you will find things that are utterly balderdash. And as a creator who creates independent works, I've known people who've tried to have other people's work banned because they feel it's a commercial conflict to them. I myself, you talk counseling. I was canceled from one organization across 7 continents and 2 aircraft carriers because I had the audacity to teach people outside of the organization how to sword fight. So yeah, that's one I will be passionate about. But for me, it's not a political issue; it's a simple human issue. It's and that shouldn't be politicized. There's no reason to mess with that. You don't mess with the Constitution. You don't mess with libraries. You don't mess with things protected by the Constitution because that's there for a reason. And I don't like the tweaking that any political side will do to it. So if we will be political, I am something of I am a political moderate of extreme centralist because I go issue by issue, and I will always support the poor folks. I believe in monitored capitalism. Because I've studied too much history, but to know that there's not a system better than capitalism, but it does have to have watchdogs. I treat corporate entities like foreign nations. When it's big enough to have its own army, you treat it like it's a foreign nation. Way off topic, but I hope it was at least interesting. And wow, was I rambling. So let's see. I am way off. Let me get back. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, we had a comment dump while I was rambling. Publishers, terrible IT, CromCon, libraries. Okay. Plus all the, I'll put that, plus all the P stuff. Library, okay, wait. Wow, that jumped again. Well, I'm sorry, guys. We're having some technical stuff. Okay, high bonds art plus all the P stuff. I can't unsee that. We caught people and banned them. Would have to copy it and paste it and hand it over to the cops. Yeah, and that's a misuse of the system that has a response imply. People steal from the libraries all the time. That doesn't mean they shouldn't be available for the public who use them right. I believe in punishing people who commit crimes, not punishing people who have the opportunity to commit crimes. You know what I mean? That joke about the DNR guy who tried to find a woman for fishing without a license when she was in a boat that had a fishing pole in it but wasn't fishing, and she responded, "Well, I'm going to." She's like, "Well, why can you do that?" And she said, "Well, you have the equipment." Well, then I'd like to report you for sexual assault, because I'm not going to use the R word here. And you, what? You can't do that. Well, you're here and you have the equipment. It's a parody on the logic, but the logic is there. Let's see what else we have. Hey, Nick. Hey! We've done a show for 29 months straight, including 2 CromCon Europe shows from the other side of the pond. Awesome! Ignore that last part, too negative. Sorry, well, I already got it. I should have seen it. Brian BCam doesn't promote himself enough. Gives incredulous look. He doesn't. For a while there, he was promoting everybody else. He was forgetting both to promote his own work and forgetting that he needed to work on his stuff. And I now know, because I check on him at least every couple days, because I respect him and I consider him a dear friend, that he is working on some really cool stuff, because now he has the time and the energy to do it. Which means me taking over the show and doing what I do is providing a direct service, and I am happy to hear it. Glenn's asking, and wait, I'm sorry. I need to deal with something. Hey, Nick. Glenn! Yes, that's Glenn Fleming, author of the amazing Jack Kirby book, Anne Hatch, and Adventures on Easter Island. He nearly fell off a cliff. I hope you get to hear that story. Let's see. Doesn't promote himself enough. Comics Talk with Pop says that. When are we having a third Comics Con? Eurocon. He was thinking December 31st. Ooh. Frees me up to party at midnight here. LOL. Yes, I love it. They charge for tons of stuff, including printers. Usually people don't see corruption. I'm just say it's like saying gambling provides money for stuff but ignores the negative. I'm going to say this. I have worked in and around libraries and volunteered at them for probably 20, 30 years. I've been volunteering for different programs at libraries or working at them. My wife, Amanda, has her master's degree in library science, and has been doing the same thing professionally for I mean, she's been a professional librarian for like 12 years. She's the director of the Benton County Public Library. And while we have seen some underhanded stuff in libraries, because it's happened, it's no more than any corporate office. And yes, they do charge for prints to offset the costs of the exorbitant costs of printer ink and things. There are systems, I'm sure, that have problems, but I mean, yeah, and I have seen the corruption where I work, closer to where I am. I've seen other systems and heard from state systems that there are problems. But again, even understanding that, and I do fully, I believe libraries are probably one of the most important services we have in America. And they are the last bastion of hope as the education system is assaulted. Oh, sorry. I was just around it for so long. It's not necessarily a political thing, a money laundering thing, especially the system in Indiana. Really? Okay. Then I'm going to need you to reach out to me directly through Twitter, probably is best, at Tockert, and tell me more. If you know something's going wrong with that sort of thing, and there's money laundering going on in the library, I can get you in contact with the people to make that go away. Because, like I said, I'm fiercely protective of libraries, and good librarians, and I have seen the bad stuff that can go on. But here's what happens: I don't play these games. It's what part of why I left a certain job. If there's something shady going on, and that's stealing from the people, that's stealing from everybody, and I don't like that, not one bit. Libraries shifted from 2000 through away from preserving books through to fines. I sat on meetings explaining how we were going to shift to profit. That is fascinating. I'm stone cold serious here. That is fascinating and troubling, because most of the libraries I've been involved with have shifted to a no fine system currently. So it may be that you were in a dark period, or you were in a shady system, but I'm genuine. Please, if you don't mind, contact me direct so you don't get in trouble with anybody, and tell me the story in detail, because if it can get passed on, let's do it. I won't. I won't. Sorry, I got lawful good in my alignment box, and when it manifests, the paladin shows up, and that's why I always promote BKM. Play those trailers. I try to. Hey, Glenn, missed you coming in. Okay. A lot of artists seem to stay quiet and not promote themselves. They got to get their name out there. That is part of something called imposter syndrome, where people don't feel that they're worth getting the praise or notice that they deserve, and it greatly hinders them. We are like in the trenches fighting that. It is something I share with our predecessor, Brian K. Morris, who I keep a reference to up here as the thing for this channel. And that's why, if you know a good artist, promote them, share them around, like, share, subscribe their stuff. If they're on DA, share their links around. If they're on Instagram, share their stuff around. If they're on Twitter, share their stuff around. Reach out with those links to me. Share it to Luke Stone. We'll get the name out more, because that's literally what I'm about. I'm about building people up, because I want to raise the bottom. I don't care about the top. The top can take care of the dang selves. But I want the bottom to have a better chance. And that's what this channel is about. That's what I'm about. I was doing art, live draws. I am in the process of rechanneling my equipment, and I will be, again, starting in September. I'm okay. JV. I see your comment after that, and for for, we'll say, your sake, I'm not going to share that. And actually, I am deleting that comment. And the reason I'm deleting that comment, well, I just shared it trying to delete it. Okay, I can't block it, but I will probably delete that later if I can. Or have you please delete it, because you could be found accountable for what you are claiming you did if you did it. And I'm not saying you didn't. I'm saying let's be smart. Thank you, Ella. Okay, cool. Because it's not that I don't. Just be smart about things, guys. Now, and I am very sorry that you had that kind of problem with librarians, because I have seen a lot, and in the end, I still think this system is worth it. Yep, and I guess it's time to say, everybody have a good day, folks. Please support me if you want to support me, you can support me through the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon. Thanks, Carl. Yes, thank you. We got a little off track, and we're at an hour and a half. If you want to donate directly, just to make my life a little easier, paypal.me/Nicholas Tockert. I've been told I have to do that. I want to remind folks to let Cat Art. I'll run her commercial. I'm going to do something special for her real soon. But we got a little in the weeds there. But I hope it was entertaining and interesting for the rest of you. I will be back. Actually, I will be back on my other channel. Oh no, librarians were fine. I should make it clear it was the higher up. The stuff your wife does is wonderful work. Thank you. And she has ascended to the echelons of being the higher ups, but she is a librarian, not an administrator. You get what I'm saying? Because she comes in to cover lunches. She spends more time on the front desk than some of the people who are supposed to be on the front desk. Very, very different, very in the trenches director. And that's something I both love and respect about her. And thank you so much for clarifying that, because it is a case of very often in any organization, the people who do the work have one mentality and one morality, and sometimes the people over them do not. And that I have seen. But if you want to make the world a better place, and I say this a lot, do so. I'm serious. Just get up and do so. We will. I will be back here Monday, and we'll report more on my creative efforts and yours. I will be back. I dropped my mic. We will be back here at 8 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. Central, for the Historical Fencing Guild, where we'll talk swords and shenanigans as things work out. Thank you. If you've enjoyed these conversations, because I do enjoy the conversations, please hit that like, share, love. If you're at the end and you haven't, hit it before I sign off. It's good for my numbers, and I will see you next week. So keep writing, keep drawing, because no matter how bad you think it is, folks, you can always edit something that's there, but you can't edit a blank page. And I will see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.